People always tell me, you have to think about your re-election. And I keep reminding them that I was not elected to be re-elected. I was elected to transform the country.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I remember when I speak in some fora, and people come and whisper to me, don't say too much, because you see, these people might get annoyed with you, and I'm asking myself, it's not in my place to say what people want to hear or what is popular. Yeah. It is my position to say what is right. And what is right is not necessarily popular.
Yes.
And it is the conversation.
That's very.
It is the conversation we are having in Kenya. When I came into office, I told the people of Kenya, our savings as a percentage of GDP is around 10-11%. Other countries are in the region of 40, 50. China is at 55% percentage of saving. We were saving 200 shillings every month, every Kenyan, in our National Social Security Fund. I said we must change this. We changed it. Now every Kenyan pays 6% of their salary. Their employer pays 6% of of an equivalent into our savings. What is happening now is that our Social Security Fund, which is about 320 billion Kenya shillings now, we are going to double it, and we have saved that 320 in 60 years. But we are going to double it in 4 years because of the decision we have made. The best partner for us is the one that accepts to have a deal that is a win-win. We must continuously, in whatever engagement, we must keep our interests at the center of our focus. If we sign a bad deal, we must not finger point. It is up to us to make sure that we don't sign bad deals for our people. And I agree with President Kagame, this mentality of victimhood, that you make a mistake and then you want to blame somebody else. It's not right. I mean, we must say no if the answer is no. And we must be firm to say this cannot continue. In fact, that is the conversation we are currently having. We are telling our friends, the architecture that exists, the financial architecture that exists is faulty. It is unfair. It is not right. It must be changed. When we started that conversation, it looked weird. Today, they have come to the table accepting what they did not believe in the past. Today, they agree with us that the current international financial architecture is faulty, it is unfair, it must be fixed. It is one of the conversations I'll be having with President Biden. Because the US has a lot of say on the current international financial architecture. And we are saying, we are not making a policy for a moment. We want to have a conversation as a continent. And for your information, if you have followed my language, yes, it's about Kenya. But it's in the context of us being Africans. And it's a context of Africa. Among the conversations we are going to have is about peace, security, and stability. We have seen the US, we have seen Europe spend billions in Gaza, billions in Ukraine. Have you seen billions in Africa?
No, I have not.
So this is the conversation we want to have. I mean, we have issues in Eastern DRC. We have issues in Somalia. We have issues in Sudan. We believe that a proper partnership should be structured between Africa through the AU, with the US, with the EU, on how stability matters wherever that is.
And it matters
Whether
for
it
them as
is in
well.
Africa or it is in Gaza or it is in Ukraine, it is about people. And there are no better people than others. You know, it is, for example, the reason why Kenya is going to participate in securing Haiti, because we are a responsible global citizen. Kenya has participated in peacekeeping for the last 40 years. We have been in 49 countries, just like Rwanda have. And therefore, when called upon to support humanity, we must show up. And so does others need to show up where we are concerned. We are struggling to get market elsewhere when we are not trading enough with ourselves. Intra-European trade is at 70%. Intra-Asian trade is at 60%. Intra-African trade is at 16%. If we make the AU a fit-for-purpose organization, and that is our intention. The notes President Kagame handed over to me says we must do 3 things, and which I intend to persuade my colleagues for us to achieve. Number 1, to use AU for our economic diplomacy, to make sure that it speaks to having a unified market in our continent, making sure that the ACFTA works, we have the same regulations, the borders that exist stop being barriers, but instead being bridges into the next country. And I say this because in EAC, intra-trade between Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, the EAC countries, is at 28%. It is the highest in the continent. It is the single highest regional economic bloc that has trade at that level. We intend to pull the rest of the continent in that direction, and it tells you that the 16% can actually get to 50% if we do things right. We are also looking at making sure that the AU deals with the challenges of infrastructure. You heard the president here talk about infrastructure. We must make the AU fit for purpose to focus on a few things, not too many things: security and stability, economic, diplomacy, infrastructure, period. And then we make sure that